Dust King is the nemesis of every new Kenshi player, but compared to me, he is nothing. For a challenge, I decided to dethrone him and become the richest bandit king that ever lived. Now, here's my plan. First, gather a squad to challenge the current Dust King. Second, become the new Dust King. Third, raid and bully every faction around for food, weapons, equipment, and involuntary workforce. And finally, unlock the secrets of baking hash brownies and profit until I reach my goal of 1 million credits. Now, starting off, it all began in the swamps. Tai grew up on the mean, wet streets of the gang capital Shark. He moved from one gang to another, trying to stay alive and earn enough money to buy himself a pair of pants and a rusty sword. He fought other gangs, he robbed shops, he smuggled hash, and generally, he did everything the leaders would tell him to do. But in the end, the leaders got rich and he was still down in the mud. But Tyke wasn't stupid. He crafted a plan that would ensure that this time, next year, he'll be a millionaire. Alas, he needed people to do the dirty job for him, and luckily, he still had some friends in the swamps in the border zone, but first he needed to get out of Shark alive. So I began scouting the area around the shanty town, and it didn't take me long before I spotted the local fauna fighting, and I decided to partake. First fight, let's get him, Tyke. You got this. I believe in you. The turtle was an easy target like your mom, and I butchered it and its friends to sell their meat, and then I contemplated life and its mysteries while cooking some for myself. I then bought a backpack because I noticed beakers attacking one of the gates of Shark, and once I joined in on that fun, my bag was full like my morning diaper. At this point, Tyke ran into his friend Mad Cackle, who had some trouble with the Dark Reavers. We're being attacked by Dark Reavers. We're gonna just pull them towards the city gates and we'll see if the people there can help us. The gate guards helped us fight, and while Tyke did go down, we managed to limp victoriously back to the bar to sleep it off. But early the next morning, loud shouts of "You ate him, didn't you?" woke them up, and Tyke spotted his friend Kunak 2.0.1 crawling down the streets with angry hound gang members chasing him, and soon a whole hell broke loose. It's gonna be a battle in the swamps. Tyke is already down. Mad Cackle is here. Hounds were winning, and the bar was full of broken bodies, which was a normal thing in the swamps, just like it was a normal thing in any ex-Yugo bar. Mad Cackle spent all of our hard-earned money on bodyguards who got themselves killed before you could yell penis, which was roughly when Tyke decided to never trust the man with his cash again. Everybody and everything is dead out here. Holy shit. The mercs and the swamp guards were losing the fight against the rival gang, but once the Shinobi and their wolves entered the picture, the tide of battle turned, and Tyke used that moment to break into one of the hound's drug labs. Holy shit, that is some good stuff we have over here. Oh, we're gonna be eating good from this. With that jackpot in hand, Tyke knew it was time to get out, but he wanted to find more of his bros. He ran into his Scorchlander friend Andrea first, and just as they were then ready to leave, the group spotted the hirer Soil, who was fighting a blood spider outside of Shark. They jumped in to help, and Soil happily joined the Great Escape. I wanted to leave the swamps in the shortest way possible, so went south to the nearby swamp village. We sold some of our ill-begotten goods there before continuing onwards, dodging dangerous critter nests along the way, until finally... Oh, we made it to the edge of the swamps? Oh, we're gonna be slightly safer now. Alas, you can't be much safer when you enter the place called Spider Plains, which did not include just spiders. But we managed to avoid danger like streamers avoid showers, and eventually we made it to a tech hunter Waystation. We sold the rest of our stolen booty there, healed our wounds, and then naturally Mad Cackle caused some trouble with the locals. Haha, but joke's on you, Mad Cackle's got reinforcements, buddy. And now you're gonna get chopped up. We then continued exploring the area and looting ruins, where Kunak found a new big stick. We then entered the border zone, where the Dust King's bandits reigned supreme. Well, at least in the wilderness, so we stopped at a shack town called Squin, where we bought some new equipment and replaced Kunak's rusty stick with a rusty sword. Then we moved towards the hub, stealing slave traders' spoils right under their noses along the way, which of course bit us in the ass. Alright, bandits, you wanted this, you will now get this. You'll see. We were doing well in the fight until Dust Bandits joined the fray, and so it was time to run like hell. Thankfully, Hub was nearby, and even though it was kinda on fire already, we found the safety we needed behind its broken walls. This is gonna hurt us a lot. people are gonna go down, but hopefully we're gonna have some help from the people in the city. A great street melee ensued, but with the help of the locals, we were once again on top, just the way I like it. We then sold the scraps and joined the Shinobi thieves, mostly for access to cheap thieves' backpacks, but also their training equipment and free beds. I also bought a tiny shack in town where Kunag did some research for us. Now that we were in the border zone, Taik wanted to find more of his old comrades, to invite them to his new enterprise. So we began roaming the wilderness, causing trouble right away. Oh boys, I don't know if this is gonna end well for us. There's quite a few out there. We fought starving bandits and we fought dust bandits, and clearly the Dust King did not appreciate our actions. We cleaned them up faster than Nico can clean his plate, and while fighting in the dusty desert clearly isn't good for your health, we showed everyone that a little bit of dust in your eye never hurt nobody, and besides, the oculists gotta live on something even in this Mad Max apocalypse. Gotta say, these dust bandits are not the smartest, coming at me one by one, while their friends are still sitting there at the campfire. Kunag then showed his masturbating skills when he overpulled another group of dusters completely, but we could have held it in our pants if it weren't for the backdoor bandits. The starving bandits got reinforcements, fuck. And thusly we shuffled back to the hub, with a raging mob hot on our fear-infused pheromone trail. But once we made it to the relative safety of hub's walls, it was time to rip them a new asshole. Locals, we need help. There you go. Even though everyone kissed the dirt at one point or another, we once again victoriously limped to the Shinobi Tower to lick our wounds. The next morning, we continued our adventures towards the High Village, because the Shinobi told Taik one of his old friends might be drinking his life away there. Naturally, we instantly ran into dust bandits on the way. That's a lot. Let's move. We don't want to fight this many. Not in vain. We gave them a good beatdown with the help of the local hires, and then Taik found his old friend at the bar, drinking his woes away. With Stickman in tow, our goal was to return to the hub and find him some clothing. I gave him a crossbow and a jit as a secondary, and bought some heavier equipment for Taik and Q as well. On the morning of day 7, we left for the wilderness again, venturing past Squin and towards Exile's camp, where Taik planned to take down the first of his rival bandit leaders, Tora the Fearless. Get on boys, let's destroy these city shack. Soil masterfully baited them up the hill, where the starving shack were easy pickings. It took me most of the day to slowly grind them down into dirt, one by one, like little puppets on a string dancing to the tune of Stickman's crossbow. This is it. This is where we fight Tora the Fearless. It's gonna be a rough one, but I believe in us. She was stronger than us. She was fiercer than us, but Taik had the brains where she had the brawn. And while the brawn might get you the girl when you're young, the brains will keep her around forever. Oh, she's down, boys. Let's freaking go. We got her down. We then cashed Tora's 10k bounty in Squin and went to rest at the bar, where Taik ran into his old friend Rusty, a dishonored shag turned bandit who was there to recover from his own wounds. We left Squin with Rusty in tow the next morning and made for the hub, where we got him some new armor, which he got to test against dust bandits right away. Oh, hello dust bandits. Where the hell did you guys come from? I didn't even see you there. We were outnumbered, but we had one little advantage. We weren't starving, and so we taught them an important lesson. Always eat your breakfast. It's good for you. We sold our crappy gear and pushed further into the wasteland, jumping from one fight to another like fat grasshoppers on steroids. Oh, somebody lost a limb. Holy shit, look at that! Our destination was the Waystation across the river. We looted an old abandoned military ruin along the way. Then we hit a dust bandit camp for more sword arm practice. We fought them in small groups, never alerting the entire camp to stay relatively safe. There's slave traders down there, so be very careful. Do not go down, boys. I repeat, do not go down. But Stickman refused to listen to my instructions and did go down, but we cleared the camp in time before any slavers could show up. Luckily, the Waystation wasn't far, so we rested there for a while Taik scouted the road ahead. Alas, the tiny settlement seemed pretty empty, so we decided to continue onwards into Skinner's Realm, fighting starving bandits along the way, avoiding them when that seemed prudent, and even helping some nomads deal with the Triangle Bandits, another group Taik wanted to eventually take over. We then roamed the wilderness until we spotted a hidden Shinobi town in the distance. Oh, my good old Shinobi friend, it's good to see you. Let's get everybody in here to some safety. We retired to the Shinobi Tower for the night, where Taik was surprised to see his old skelly friend Korax. Korax used to be a smuggler. Well, he used to be many things over the millennia since he was first turned on, but for the last decade or so, he was a trafficker for the Grey Flayers. He smuggled drugs, he smuggled body parts, and sometimes he even smuggled people in and out of the United Cities. For some reason, gate guards always ignored him, and that made him a favorite in the Grey Flare gang. It was like he was invisible, and Korax liked being invisible, until one day he was invisible no longer. The guards found the white powder stuffed deep inside his artificial rectum, and for some reason they were not impressed. Even less impressed was Big Grey after the loss of his whole badge that set him back thousands of credits. So Korax decided to be invisible again. He told Big Grey to suck a Leviathan, which impressed the boss even less so. Then he legged it through the swamps, losing the pursuing Grey Flayers in the thick blood spider infested brush. And so he ended at Fort Shinobi, waiting, thinking, and contemplating his next move. And our next move was to stay in Skinner's Roam a little bit longer due to the relative safety that Fort Shinobi provided us. We checked out some ruins and then we checked out the dust storm on the horizon, where we found some hungry friends. There is a lot of starving bandits around. Look, there's another group over there. Oh boy. But we had Shinobi friends on our side and a massacre ensued outside the town gates. A massacre only comparable to the contents of my toilet after I eat pancakes. Death walked the field of battle that day, but that didn't stop us from going back into the wild. Meeting natives, beating up other natives, and then I spotted this. There is a slave king here with 80,000 bounty. And, well, yeah, his stats are pretty insane. While he was busy turning the Outlanders into mashed potatoes, Soil ran into his house to borrow all of his high-quality loot. Look at the good stuff we got. We got a Kanasai Bow, Katan 3, we got a Huge Cleaver Mark 3, a Hunting Saber Mark 3 and a Katana Mark 1. This is really good. I dished out the spoils, then we went back towards the Shinobi town where another carnage ensued. But the real surprise awaited us when we went to rest at the tower and Tyke spotted his old merchant friend Sanda recovering with the thieves. Sanda has joined the squad now, but she's missing a leg, so we're gonna actually have to find her a leg before she can actually join us on adventures. But Tyke had a plan. There was a robotics shop in town and he sent Rusty around to distract the shop owner, and then Tyke snuck in to quickly snatch a leg. Alright, now all we need to do is wait that we stop committing crime. Oh, we did it! Let's freaking go. We got that leg. With that, Sanda could walk again, and to repay her debt to Tyke, she agreed to join us as we left the town to beat up some triangle bandits. My plan was to return to the hub, but on the way we passed by a Holy Nation slave mine and we decided to have some fun. Why are you hitting your own slaves? You weirdo! We rescued a couple of servants and we beat up a couple of solo paladins, mostly just to steal a polearm for Sanda. Then we ran like the Holy Lord Phoenix himself was on our tail. There you go, Tyke is now wanted in the whole nation. I like it. Oh, we have more. I kinda like the idea of Tyke finally getting some recognition from the authorities, but for now, my goal was still to just return to the hub. The road was long and dark, but luckily for us, it was not full of terrors. Ah, hub, it's good to be back home. We left for Squin the next morning, dancing to the tune of violence with a group of starving bandits along the way. You just chopped his leg off, dude. Oh, very nice. We sold our extra gear at the town, bought new armor for Korax, then we moved on, preying on groups of dust bandits with the intention to send the Dust King a clear message. A new bandit king is coming and you better be ready or you'll be chopped to pieces. Kuna got like 2 strength from this whole fight, just wielding that giant, way too heavy blade of his. I love this. We quickly stopped at a nearby Shek village to heal and sell our loot, then we continued further north into Vane, where the high villages appear to be less peaceful than expected. Where the hell did the cannibals come from? Oh, damn, alright. Well, let's fight these guys then, I guess. Those cannibals were easy prey for us, but then we also ran into a group of fogmen, and that's when I knew we went too far north. So I decided to flee back to the safety of Hub. Alas, nothing is ever simple in Kenshi, and when a group of big things surprised us, I knew it was time to fight or be eaten. Alright, we got these guys, just don't go down. Let's go. 2 more down, let's go. It was morning when we finally made it back to the hub, where we sold the skins we ripped off those beakers. We cooked their meat, we rested at the Shinobi Tower, and we trained. After we healed up, we naturally went to look for trouble again, and of course, trouble in the shape of dust bandits found us right away. Alas, it turned out we were definitely more trouble than it was worth. But we weren't just simply looking for trouble, we were also looking for the Dust King's tower, which we knew was on one of the nearby hills. And sure enough, after dealing with some more trouble, we spotted it just ahead. Tyke snuck close, unlocked the gates, and then we got our first glimpse at the king himself. There he is, the big boy. He's got a he's got pretty good stats actually. We marked his tower on our map, but there was another one nearby Tyke wanted to check out. There were black dragon ninjas guarding the place, so he marked that on the map as well, but before tackling those targets, he wanted to find a couple more companions. We slowly made our way back to the relative safety of the hub. Yes, relative safety of the hub means we're gonna meet a lot of people on the road and chop them up. Safety, you know? And at the hub bar, Tyke learned that his old friend Ragewind was spotted roaming the wasteland between Hub and Squin. So we departed again looking for him, making sure the slavers didn't take him or that the dusters didn't get their dirty paws on him. Oh, look at that, the dust bandits actually have a skeleton in their midst. I do like that. Got some variety going on. Alas, Ragewind wasn't to be seen in the pub or on the streets of Squin, so we departed for the wilds again. After resting and doing some research, we were ready to get into trouble. And while skirting the edge of the swamps, trouble found us. Oh, these starving bandits certainly are not a problem for us anymore. Not in the slightest. We fought dust bandits in the swamps, we fought blood spiders, and we dueled everyone and everything that dared cross our paths, like raging Karens on a warpath to see the manager. Dust bandits, what the hell are you doing here in the swamps? This is not your usual place, huh? Now we will deal with you. We passed by the exiles camp again and decided to deal with the remaining band of bones weaklings stationed there. We spent the rest of the day fighting dust bandits and then some more dust bandits and then even more dust bandits, to the point our wounds forced us to rest and heal at Squin. But then, when we finally arrived back to the gates of Hub, we saw this. Ragewind thought long and he thought hard. Men would say Ragewind wasn't much of a thinker, but men wouldn't say that to his face or they'd be pissing blood for a week after. So he thought and he pondered. Ryudo and Grinning Jack, his two companions, knew better than to bother him while he was in one of his thinking moods, so they busied themselves at the Shinobi Tower. Ragewind knew why the Swamper was looking for him, of course. He knew the Flatskin was ambitious, but he wasn't sure if he had the balls in the sack or the ice in the veins for what needed doing. The way Ragewind saw it, he now had two choices: bash the little swamper back into the mud whence he came, or join up and obey his orders. There wasn't much to be gained by grinding his bones into dust, truth be said, but obeying orders, Ragewind liked the sound of that even less than he liked pissing into the wind. So there he sat thinking, maybe, just maybe, he could follow the Flatskin around a bit. He'd be in for the money and he'd be in for the glory. Yes, maybe, but just for now. And so Ragewind, Ryudo, and Grinning Jack joined up, completing the gang that Tyke was forming, and so he named them the Border Pirates, which half of the squad thought was a pretty stupid name, but no one said anything. And there we go, we have Ryudo, Ragewind, and Grinning Jack join us. Ryudo is actually a fogman who's got very little HP, so keeping him alive is gonna be tough. Plus, he also has like a hiver arm as well. Tyke was now confident he could take the Dust King down, so he decided to give it a try. Alas, the path ahead wasn't without problems, as Dust King was clearly prepared to meet up. We fought hard, just like my subscribers fight hard to escape the premise when they see a woman approaching them. And if you're also deadly afraid of social interactions, hey, why don't you subscribe now and join the rest of us in our mindfuck prison? You guys think you're better than the Dust Bandits? So think again. When the evening arrived, we were then finally ready to besiege the tower. The king was nowhere to be seen, so we just charged in and then whole hell broke loose. Oh, Dust King is already hurting. Oh wait, we already got him down? Holy shit, that was fast. Soil absolutely bodied the king, who, let's be real, was king no longer. After that, the whole affair was very anticlimactic, because the rest of the bandits folded like imported children in a Chinese sweatshop. I could say that the battle was fierce, but let's be real, we melted them. The old king had some really good armor and weapons, which Tyke naturally claimed for himself. Oh yeah, look at that sword, look at this gear. You'll love to see it. We looted the tower, finding a new crossbow for stickmen, some food and luxury goods. After resting for the night, it was then time to cash in Dust King's big bounty. There were still some remnants of the bandits roaming the wastes, so we had to deal with those on our way. Tyke, I want to see how much damage you do with this sword. Oh, 90? Oh, that was pretty good. We followed the dry rubber bat all the way to Squin, where we delivered the big man into the hands of the local police. There you go, Mr. Policeman. 35k reward. That, yeah, Yeah, that's worth it. We got 52k now. Let's upgrade a bit, maybe. I bought some armor and a weapon, then we returned to the hub. Tyke now styled himself the king of the border zone, but that was not enough for him. Sure, he had some money, but he was nowhere near the millionaire he wanted to be. So research and a new base was his next plan. But of course, his warriors would not be the workforce. So what they needed to do now was to find some involuntary recruits that could work the farms for them. So the next morning, we left for the holy mines again, with the intention to liberate some holy servants to become our little less holy servants. Sure, we could have kidnapped some bandits, but Tyke knew that those who became outlaws in the first place usually aren't the most work inclined, just like YouTubers, Twitch streamers, or OnlyFans porn stars. Actually, scratch that. Getting railed by a fat bald dude dressed as a furry is hard work. I take it all back. Well, this is gonna be tough now, but at least we don't need to like fully raid this. Just capture some people, maybe. So that's what we went in to do. We beat up a couple of holy men and we rescued a couple of their servants until I felt we had enough. We returned to the hub where I convinced Lick to do research for us. Then I recruited Yoink and Dog as well. Now that we had a starting workforce, we needed books to begin researching more things, and since shit was going down at the bar again, we couldn't buy any there. Besides, buying wasn't Tyke's favorite thing to do, so he decided to rob Squin. Alas, my people weren't the best thieves around, but I was adamant to give it a spin. There we go, we got 4 books, don't catch me, let's go, we got 4. We grabbed some more when the guards weren't looking, then I got distracted by the commotion in the streets. Those bandits, you are really getting desperate, huh? Now that we have taken down your king. We then moved onwards to unload the crap we stole at the nearby shack village, which seemed to have some issues, and going south, we also ran into the same issues. These triangle bandits are now upgraded just because we took down the Dust King, and you can see how much damage this guy's doing with that big old two-handed thing of his. But while we took a lot of damage, they took even more to the point they kissed the dirt. Alas, there was another group of triangle bandits nearby who hurt us a lot more. But just as we edged victory, shit suddenly got real. Why are we attacking spiders, guys? Can I ask you, why the fuck are we fighting spiders out here now? Most of the squad went down. Soil lost a leg and a couple remained in recovery coma. But after we dealt with the now once again brave triangle boys, we managed to limp to safety of a nearby shack fortress. Our priorities definitely changed a little bit, but we're gonna try and heal up right now. And heal up we did. Our rest took most of the day, then we moved on towards the nearest high village in search of a leg for soil. Oh yeah, looks like we made it into a very nice territory. We had to deal with the denizens of this nice territory before we could break into the local library in order to steal the first edition Harry Potter books. We actually found some ancient science books, which is really good, plus some normal books as well. We then continued onwards to the village, fending off hordes of local wildlife, just so we could steal their eggs for my personal big thing omelet. Let's see if we can make it to that high village now in one piece, shall we? But of course, it wasn't that simple. We had a lot of fights ahead of us still, but when we finally made it, it was all worth it. Finally, we made it. Let's get inside. Soil could walk again, and it was time to get the fuck out of this nightmare realm. Alas, greed then overtook me. Well, maybe it is not the time yet to leave, because there are 2 more big thing nests out here. We slowly chopped the beakers up one after another, making sure to never pose more than 2 fighters against 1, so it was slow going, but slow and steady wins the race. We then made it to the safety of Admac, where we healed our wounds, while back at the hub my servants fixed up another house, where we set up a leather tanning bench. We left Admag the next morning, as the place was getting a tad deadly in the streets, and we robbed Squin on our way home. Not risky at all. We upgraded some of our gear, beat up some more dusters to show our supremacy mostly, then we finally made it back to the hub. Hello servants, are you working hard or are you hardly working? We filled up the meat storage, we topped up the skins, and we unloaded the books. The option to research hash brownies was now available to us. Alas, first we needed engineering research. Tyke knew there were some old ruins in the swamps that could contain some, so tech hunting we went. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, it's time to return to the swamps. We instantly ran into some old clickers, and I thank my luck they didn't spot us from range. But then, another group did. Look at the damage on that. Holy fuck.
who just got hit for 100.
We fought blood spiders, we fought lost dust bandits, we fought more spiders, we fought big turtles, and then even more spiders.
Ah, at long last we finally made it to these ruins. Let's go check them out.
We broke into the library and stole the ancient science books. Then we moved onwards to Shark, avoiding local wildlife when possible, and I was never so happy to see the safety of Shark ahead.
Oh Jesus, the bar is not safe.
I decided to leave early the next morning because safety in Shark really wasn't priority numero uno, so we went onwards to another ruin.
Of course there are already blood spiders here attacking us. Get them all, boys. Holy shit, that's a lot.
We grabbed what we could and continued on, fighting turtles, fighting beakers, fighting band of bones, then we made it to another ruin.
Let's release all these spiders. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right?
Things only went wrong for Rusty, who got mauled, but the rest of us dealt with the red menace and ran inside to safety. We broke into the ancient safes, finding lots of things to sell and some ancient science books as well. With that fat booty in tow, we made a run for the edge of the swamps and back into civilization, rejoicing at the prospect to fight something that didn't try to eat us. We sold what we didn't need and went back home, delivering the books we needed for research. I still wanted to get a better like for soil, so I went to a nearby Waystation where Tyke broke into a skeleton workshop.
Alright, do not fail me on 91, let's go, we got it.
He even grabbed an upgrade for Ryudo, then I decided to go scout for a place where we could build our base, and we found just the spot.
This seems pretty nice, lots of water, lots of fertility, shitty stone, sure, but we have iron and copper nearby. 100% swamp, 100% arid for some reason. Yeah, it seems like a great place for a base, right here.
I built a stone mine, but then we naturally got interrupted by clickers who absolutely destroyed our ladies, so we had to destroy them back. We had to defend our new camp from the red sabers, and then some more red sabers, all while trying to build another shack. We also built an iron processor, then I decided to leave the camp for now and venture back north. Tyke knew the swamps were a fucking mess. You step a foot out of an enclosed village, you risk losing that foot or more. The camp they set up had potential, sure, but clearly the potential to lose a life or limb was very high for his squishy servants, so no way they'd be ready for this. But had he enough servants, the losses wouldn't be felt at all. Numbers were his answer, and the holy fucks up north clearly had more servants than knew what to do with. Surely they wouldn't miss a couple extra. Bet those stupid slaves would rejoice at the prospect of working for someone else. But once they made it to the swamps, well, it would be too late to realize their mistake. And so we ventured north towards the holy mines again, where we beat up a couple of holy men.
The holy nation are now hostile towards you, huh? Well, that's a bit unfortunate.
We raided their pantry and we raided their slave shack. Alas, there were no servants to be found anywhere. So we took our revenge on the overseer of the little establishment, stole what we could, and then moved on. Traveling the wastes, we chanced upon another holy mine.
Oh yes, these guys do have servants here. I need to borrow some.
But first, we had to defeat the paladins, who were none too happy to see us. But like a drunk clown at children's party, we overstayed our welcome and drank all the beer.
Slaves are trying to escape. Don't let them. We need them, slaves.
We had to take some drastic measures to make sure they didn't confuse our intervention as a way to freedom, but in the end, it was all for their own good. We returned to the hub with our precious cargo, where Tyke convinced 9 new servants to join his venture. While they repaired another house at the hub, Tyke led his men east, towards the fabled acid-weeping deadlands. It was a long and dusty road, but then we laid eyes upon the land of death, and death instantly welcomed us in its warm bosom.
Oh shit, it's these bastards over here again. Oh my god, look at the damage. Holy fucking hell. Rudo's dying, Andrea's fucked.
But in the end, it was them who got fucked, and my squad who survived. I didn't notice the Skelly nomads attacking the nearby ruin, and I decided to take advantage of the situation and snuck in.
Let's go scouting here. Oh my god, look at this murder zone.
I made sure the security spiders stayed down, while my injured members healed upstairs. That allowed us to loot the place, and I made a quick purchase from the nomads.
Welcome to the squad, Eve TS. You're gonna be our perfect guard for our base.
We found a bunch of weapon upgrades for everyone, then we moved onwards when morning broke. We made it to the Black Desert City without further problems, where Tyke took the opportunity to borrow some of the good prosthetics the Skellies were hoarding.
I'm gonna try to grab the Swift Arm Mark III for Ryuda. Let's go, we got it.
Then we ventured further north, instantly running into more clickers.
Don't let them shoot. Don't let them fucking shoot. Jesus Christ, how many of these fuckers are there?
We took down 3 groups on our way to another ruin, from which Kunak masterfully baited all the spiders, so we could loot it in peace. We got even more upgrades, but that didn't stop me from going further to yet another ruin that hid my favorite weapon.
Sir, are you waiting for us out here? Do you want us to come outside and beat you up? I don't really want to though.
I let it wobble away, then we went back south to the safety of Black Desert City again. I bought a new crossbow for Stickman and a falling sun for Ragewind. Then I decided to check another ruin on our way out of this godforsaken place, and luck be on our side, it was also under attack by the nomads.
Let's join in on the fun, boys. Let's join in on the fun.
The good work those nomads did allowed us to start looting the place, which got us exactly what we needed. After that, we finally got out and away from the acid rain, which followed us like the clingy ex who refused to wash lest she loses your smell. I bought a backpack for Eve TS at Fort Shinobi, where we then healed our acid-infused wounds. The next day I decided to stomp at the Tower of Ninjas, who for some reason did not treat me with respect.
Alright boys, destroy these silly ninjas who thought that we're gonna be easy.
Triangle bandits decided to join in on the fun, fighting both sides at once and causing more harm than good, which led to this.
Are you kidding me? D-Mac, their leader, we broke their arm and now we can't fight them because they're just freaking running away constantly.
It took me a while to chase her down, but it was well worth it because she had a new Meitu blade for Korax. We healed up at the tower and we looted its treasures. Then we returned to the hub where my servants could begin new research. The next day I loaded up Eve with all the stuff we now had for sale and we traveled to Squin to sell it, which made us a lot richer than before. Naturally I spent a bunch right away, then we went to hunt down Garo and big things because for some reason my servants wanted to eat. We delivered the meat to the chef who didn't question its origins, just like you should never question the meat in a Chinese restaurant. I then traveled into the swamps again to acquire rice, wheat and hemp to help jumpstart our future farms. Then we stopped at the Berserker village on the way back because Tyke wanted to take down another local bandit leader.
Their leader is right here, Ghost with 10k bounty, but most importantly, he's got a Meitu blade.
He never even got to swing that big heavy razor of his, which I then gave to Kunak to continue training his strength. We then cashed Ghost in at Squin and returned to the hub where we loaded up Eve with everything we had. Then Tyke hit the bar to recruit some mercs to guard his new base. Mercenary business was 99% sitting on your ass all day doing nothing and 1% all-out brutal red action. And Akai lived for that 1%. Or well, he used to. Alas, that all ended up the day where his old mercenary brothers got slaughtered to a man in the bloody swamps. It was a routine mission. Get in, fuck up red sabers, get out. Nice and easy, and no one on his side was supposed to become gutter food. But then that fucker of a Dust King hit from the flank and ravaged both sides who were already feeding the thirsty swamp with their lifeblood. Lady Luck saved Akai's ass on that day and barely, but he swore his revenge against the big duster if it was the last thing he'd do. He used up his savings and he used up his contacts to drum up a team who'd be ready to take him on. But then he heard the news. The old fuck was rotting in the shack prison, all thanks to a nobody who now styled himself the new king of the border zone. The balls on that guy must be as heavy as his head must be empty, but bet the new guy was worth meeting at least, and maybe he'd have some work needed doing. And Narco knew Akai needed work because his squad was getting itchy and his funds were running low.
And there we have it. Akai has brought his mercenary group to join us, and these guys are going to be our gate guards. They will not adventure with us, but they will defend our base. So I grabbed my servants and hit the road to the swamps in one giant love pile. If anyone asks why some of them might have chains on, well, it's for their own good, you see.
My new guards protected us on our journey all the way to their new home. I assigned workers to their new jobs and I assigned the guards to murdering. And since this was the swamps, there was no shortage of things to murder. So I began planning some walls to better protect the place, and even as the walls were going up, I realized we needed more resources. So I sent Soil and Eve back north to buy some. It got very dark at night, so we made sure to build a power generator ASAP, which allowed us to begin working on more complex operations. My defenses were slowly looking better, and whatever came past them we dealt with ease.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got walls all around this area now. You'll love to see it.
And with walls all around, I was now able to station my guards at the gates and left Eve with them to get some more experience. I also assigned Staple and Wong along to the harpoons overlooking the gates, and with defenses sorted and every servant with a job, I decided to depart with the bandit squad again, leaving Ryudo behind, who volunteered to lead the base in Taik's absence and pursue his love of robotics in the meantime.
Well, this really is not what I expected. How can you just walk through the walls that I just built?
Taik led his men to another holy mine, which the squad absolutely bodied. Alas, our reward was only 2 new servants.
Oh shit, there's a bunch of high paladins over here. Where the hell did you guys come from?
But it was too late for reinforcements, for we made it out with those new servants in tow. And so Sanda only joined us, but for now I put them to work at the hub because I wanted to visit the nearby high village with the bandit squad first. But why? Well, Taik had an idea that worker drones could make for good servants, and since there were a lot of them at the village, surely no one would miss a couple, right? Wrong. The soldier drones came to their defense and soon a full-on melee ensued.
Andrea, how are you already down?
I decided to just grab whoever we could, and we made our escape with 4 drones on our backs. After dealing with the abundant wildlife on our way out, we then recruited our new servants. Meanwhile, the base was growing nicely, which attracted the attention of the local gangs.
Hounds, you caused all kinds of issues back when we first met, so, you know, let's get them.
And indeed, the guards got them, showing them that we were the new hit thing in the swamps. But the Holy Nation wanted a say in that, for they sent a giant squad to attack the base, which I completely missed. We defeated 1 wave of the Holy Men, then we defeated another, and then the 3rd wave showed up.
How many of you fuckers are there?
But luckily, the combination of Akai's guards and the 2 harpoon gunners showed the Holy Nation that whoever enters the swamps stays in the swamps.
These guards definitely earned their pay today.
Taik then led his new servants down south, dealing with bandits along the way until they reached their new forever home. We put them to work right away, and slowly but surely our base was starting to look good and slightly more advanced. Now Taik knew the attacks will continue, for the bandits of the swamps were relentless. So he decided that his next move would be to deal with the red sabers and swamp ninjas once and for all. Alas, their bases were hidden somewhere deep in the swamps, so first we had to find them. While we slowly fought our way south through the stinky morass, the triangle bandits assaulted our camp.
Man, these guys are hurting us as fuck. Look at that.
They hurt, yes, but not nearly as much as we hurt them. At the same time, Taik's squad found the swamp ninjas outpost and sent Soil in to check it out.
Why are you just yelling intruder? Come outside.
Alas, he did not want to come outside, so to his disappointment, we came inside and we carved them a new asshole. They fared as well as the Russians did in the Winter War, but all we wanted was the Meitu blade their leader was using and of course his bounty. We then pushed back north, and as the sun began to set, we made it to the Red Sabers' hideout, who welcomed us warmly with their blades.
Guys, don't let them crawl outside. Get those guys as well.
They stood not a chance, so we grabbed another Meitu chopper and their wanted boss. With the 2 bounties in tow, our goal was then to get to Squin and cash them in. On the way, we fought ninjas, we fought big things, and we fought blood spiders. With the 2 gang leaders imprisoned, Taik was 1 step closer to becoming the ultimate bandit king, but there were other bandits out there, so his next move was for New Kralia.
Looks like some of them are fighting the nomads outside. Let's just go for them.
The fortress was not only under attack by the nomads but also by the Western Hive, so we just swooped in, decapitated Flying Bull, and claimed our prize.
Oh damn, these guys have some really good stuff in here. Please, give me that.
We cashed him in at Admag, then we moved on to a certain high village again, which was already under attack by the wildlife. We abused that distraction to strike at the worker drones. Alas, they had reinforcements. But without proper armor, the hivers stood not a chance, and like the daytime thieves we were, we got out dirty.
We gotta move now, boys. We gotta move. Let's get out of here. We got this. We have enough.
But a couple of workers chased after Korax, and to their surprise, we embraced them into their new lifelong servitude as well. Back at the swamps, things were as usual. A lot of death and destruction, but also some progress.
Let's go, boys. Our first hash brownies are being baked.
We were now cooking with onions. We were crafting electrics and basic equipment for slaves, while Ryudo was focusing on his robotics. Meanwhile, my new drones were healing slowly at the hub, which for some reason bothered the local nomads.
Nomads, could you please fuck off? These are our drones. These are not your drones.
But by the next morning, all 8 drones freely decided to join my new establishment, so we transitioned them to Camp Hemsoil. We gave them the basic equipment and then sent them to work. With that done, Tyke had his eyes set on another goal. There was still some more research to be done, and for that we needed engineering research. But he knew exactly where they could find some. So we journeyed through the swamps again, and once the evening came, we arrived at the grid. We looted the 2 workshop complexes, acquiring a good amount of research materials. From there on, I wanted to hit our ruined lab in the crater, home to about 1,000,000 big things.
Holy shit, look at the amount of beakers there are. I'm not sure if I want to go in there.
But we did go in there, killing the denizens of the crater along the way, like US truckers when they see a lone woman at pit stop, until we made it to the lab. Soil snuck in to spot how many security spiders there were inside.
Alright, Soil. You're gonna have to masterfully bait some of these guys outside.
Outside, where the squad was already under attack by the beakers. We dealt with the animals and we dealt with the robots with ease of a regular man swatting a fly.
Ooh, Stickman, run. He's coming for you.
With the last spider dealt with, we could then begin looting, and we found a bunch of science books. I wanted to bring them back to the camp, alas the beakers had another idea, and so a prolonged running fight broke out, where our blades and our balls got tested, and just like Caitlyn Jenner, my squad had the balls of steel. We made it home late, delivering all that sweet juicy beaker meat and the stack of fresh research materials. Korax was the one who knew the secret smuggler paths to the east. He was the one who could navigate the dangerous bone fields even during the fiercest of dust storms. He was the one who had the contacts at Flats Lagoon, and truth be told, he was the one for the job. But Tyke trusted Korax as far as he could throw him, which was to say, not at all. Truth be told, he didn't really trust anyone on his squad. Everyone had their secret agenda. Ragewind was ambitious, Kunak and Soil had their cravings, Andrea and Sanda wanted to get rich quick, and who could blame them? Rusty and Greening Jank were content by just beating people up, Akai would do what was best for his mercs, Stickman was too smart for his own good, Ryuda wanted to play with his robotic toys, and Mad Cackle was, well, mad as a Garu. And that brought him back to Korax. It would have to be Korax, but Tyke swore he would not take his eyes off him even for a second.
Korax is now ready to lead the man down the secret smuggling paths and deliver the hashish that's gonna make us millionaires. We crossed into Sham, where we instantly ran into some of our old friends. In fact, we kept on running into them throughout the zone until we spotted Flats Lagoon, but that place was a mess as well. I kind of forgot that we are at war with the hives, but luckily the tech hunters are on our side here.
And with the help of the tech hunters, we showed the hivers that thin sticks for legs are almost as useless as thin sticks for dicks. Korax then hit his old friends who paid a premium for our premium hash brownies.
That was a good sale, but that was like 45 hashish. We need more now.
By the time we returned back to Camp Hemsoil, the 2 servants only cooked 19 new brownies, which meant that instead of trading, we went back to raiding.
The next gang that we want to take down is gonna be the Stone Rats, so we're gonna go down there to their village.
At this point, you might be asking, how are my scallies wearing hats? And the answer is, small hats in the belt slot. As you can imagine, I'm using a lot of mods in this playthrough, and the mod list is linked in the description below, while you can also access mod load order on my Discord.
Alright, Stone Rats, show me where your boss is.
Tyke wanted to talk with Big Al, but the talk would be with swords. Sol grabbed the boss while we fought their surprisingly strong gate guards, who were sporting specialist grade armor.
Man, these gate guards are strong. Look at that, 80 attack, 69 defense, hell yeah.
Alas, not even they could stop us from leaving with Big Al, and we found him a new home back at the camp. Tyke then checked on his cooks. Alas, the amount of brownies was still low, so he ordered more cooks to focus on it. Since it was not yet the time for a smuggling run, Tyke decided to go on another raid. We ventured north to the Holy Nation lands again, while the camp guards suffered heavily under another Triangle Bandit attack. Although they were victorious in the end, it was not without losses.
Staple, you just shot Ryudo 420 and just killed him. Oh my God.
In the meantime, the raiders beat up helpless holy men and their animals, and we showed them love like a Balkan man shows love to his wife.
Oh my God, they actually imprisoned holy sentinels over here. The ones that we put in the cage. That's truly amazing, I love it.
So we imprisoned more of them and went further north, until we made it to a Holy Nation farm where the peaceful farmers had no idea what was waiting for them.
It was us. We were waiting for them. Let's destroy this place.
Alas, the farm had reinforcements, and a great battle ensued that raged throughout the whole day. New groups of holy men kept on showing up, and we put each and every one of them to the sword, tearing through their woefully inadequate armor, which they insisted on wearing like a badge of pride, just like boomers who proudly proclaim they've been beaten by their parents on a daily basis.
Kunak found another high paladin out here. Of course he did. Why wouldn't you?
I stole everything that wasn't nailed down, and with that, it was time to go back home, where Tyke learned what happened to Ryudo. He knew shit like that happens in combat, but needless to say, he was sad for the loss of his roboticist. But when he went to check on what Ryudo was last working on, he found a beautiful gift of speed, which Korax instantly installed.
Korax can now run 49 miles per hour with the new legs, and he can also carry a lot because he has 122 strength. That meant he could carry a lot of brownies while still running faster than a big thing. Thusly, he became the ultimate smuggler, making it to Flats Lagoon in a second, where he cashed out more than 100k money. I repeated the same run in the evening, and so Tyke now had a close to $500,000 in his bank. But he was not satisfied with that, for his next goal was to raid the United Cities and kidnap a minor noble. But first, we needed to get out of the swamps. Alright, so we have a beaker attacking us at the same time as we're hitting all these whirling madness thingies.
We fought a lot more baddies on our way south to the slave farm, where we waited for the slavers to hit the sack, then we hit the gate guards.
For some reason these guys are not impressed by my actions. I don't know why. Who knows why?
We took it slow and steady, abusing Stickman's masturbating skills to pull out samurai guards one at a time, although our life got slightly complicated by the many slaver caravans entering the city.
Fucking hell, there's another caravan? How many caravans do you get over here? That's like the fourth one already.
When the bloody morning broke, I sent Tyke inside to break into the noble's mansion and bring out their personal guards.
Alright, this is where the real battle's gonna be, boys.
We sowed the ground with their blood, but we were hurting severely as well, and just when I began to celebrate our hard-won victory, I spotted their reinforcements. We fled to the hills away from the noble hunter, but stupidly enough, he decided to follow us.
Are you sure you want to do this, noble hunter? Because you don't really have all the guards here. Oh, we have to try to get him now, huh?
And we did get him, plus his guards who slowly trickled in. I then sent Korax in to bait out the slave mistress, who was stupid enough to follow him.
Korax got these ones. The rest of the people got the noble. Oh, we got the noble? Let's go.
We grabbed her and made her escape, slippery like a fully lubed OnlyFans streamer. We gave the two nobles a new home back at Camp Hemsoil, and Big L was thankful for some company. Korax then went on 2 more smuggling runs, while Tyke acquired noble attire for himself and had his servants build him a throne, which his ass then happily kept warm. He ordered his men to venture out, destroying rival bandit groups wherever they could find them. They also raided the Holy Nation mines again to rescue more servants, while the gate guards kept the rival gangs and slavers at bay. The raiders joined in on fights between other bandits who fought for scraps under Tyke's new rule. They raided multiple Holy Nation farms for food and servants, they attacked more high villages, and they even raided a shack bar. They preyed on traders' caravans to steal their exports, and they even executed an attack on the settled nomads. All factions fought valiantly against the border pirates, but in the end, Tyke's men always took what they wanted. Meanwhile, Korax kept on sprinting his smuggling sprint until he needed to sprint no longer.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, we just crossed 1 million cats. You'll love to see it.
Tyke was now a proper millionaire. He achieved all his goals and he ruled the bandits from his high throne, feeling safe and all-powerful in his Camp Hemsoil. Alas, as we all know, no king rules forever. Ragewind had enough of beating up puny starring fuckers on Tyke's orders, while the bossman sat his fat ass on his ugly throne, drinking rum and sake all day long and having his butt wiped by the servants. Ragewind had enough of saying yes to orders that he didn't want to follow, and he had enough of Tyke's shitty humor. He wanted the money and he wanted the glory, which was all there for a brave man to take, but first he had to take a life.